Get some 8% seltzer shipped right to your house. The peach, the lemon lime, the strawberry shortcake, and the blue raspberry. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten if you give a shit about that. We are live in over 100 stores in Tennessee. More just opened up. Go to hardafseltzer.com today and check your store locator or order them right to your house.
Welcome to Drinking Bros, presented by GhostBed.com.
Yeah, welcome to the Monday morning recap, everybody. Coming in hot at 5:15 p.m. East Coast time. Right on time today. As always, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinking Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. And Delco, I lost my voice. Screaming for you on Friday nights. You had $500 on the Marlins game.
I did. Thanks to Rob. Shouts to Rob. That's the only game they won that weekend.
It was. Yeah. We were sitting there, and we were both pretty drunk. You were, I think, like, very drunk.
Yeah.
And you were just like, well, I might do this. I might put some in this game. Who should I take? And I was like, Luzardo's the better pitcher. Yep. So I guess take the Marlins.
Because Verlander got scratched, right?
Yeah, scratched, yeah.
He's on the IL.
Yeah, he had $500 on the Marlins, but it was close. I mean, it came down to that game-saving catch, or else that would have been it.
Yeah.
It was a fun game.
It was sick.
It was a great game to be at, yeah.
Loaded up on Marlins gear.
Yeah,
old school one.
Yeah.
The teal.
Yeah. We had a fun time at the ballpark.
It's like a top 5 logo. Why the fuck did they punt on that?
I'm not sure, but they're doing it every Friday, so they're bringing it back every single Friday. So the old school logos will be back on Fridays there at the stadium. D'Anthony Holloway threw out the first pitch on Friday nights. What was your thoughts, D'Anthony, on throwing out the first pitch?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, I'm glad that to be honest, it doesn't really get me all that hyped up personally, but I'm glad that
throwing to Billy the Marlin didn't get you hype?
Well, no, any of those situations wouldn't have got me hyped. If it was like Game 7 of the World Series and there was 70,000 people there and I was throwing to Jesus, I wouldn't care still. But
I feel like he did you dirty, though.
It's true, though.
It was nice that the fans got to see that stuff because it's really just a reflection of their support that we were there in the first place. So I appreciate that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was weird. It was like I didn't expect to be in a line of people who were all throwing out the first pitch.
Yeah.
And Billy's just not even going behind the plate. He's just like, nah.
Yeah,
well,
they asked me not to step on the mound and stuff too, which I understand. Like, this is ceremonial. It's not like I'm going there trying to fucking pump heat in there and make a name for myself. Like, if you put me in, coach, like, no, this is all for fucking show. Oh, Nope,
not a prayer, George.
That's why we were all there, to see throw a pitch.
The kid that threw before me threw it kind of up in the air a little bit. I think he was worried about bouncing it.
Well, can I tell this story? I'll tell you what happened, because I was standing with them. They had kind of brought you over to the side to get you ready to go out to the mound. And they're doing this at a lot of ballparks now where they're bringing out like 2 or 3 people and then doing it individually, and probably smart on their part to do it because so many people want to throw out the first pitch. So the first kid was about 11, 12 years old. So I'm there, and I'm talking to his dad. I don't know what his dad did for a living, but he said, I've got 3 boys, and my other 2 sons have already thrown out the first pitch, and now it's his turn. And I said, well, how did the other 2 do? And he goes, they threw perfect strikes. And he said it right in front of this kid. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. You're going to make your kid nervous.
What is
doing
this family's deal?
I don't know.
Why are they all throwing first pitches?
Not sure. His dad must do something.
Sounds like you know what he does for a living?
I didn't ask.
I know what he does.
What does he do?
I recognized.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. He's a winner.
That's true. If you're able to do it, chances are you spent some money to get in with the organization and everything. So, yes, he's a winner. However, he said this in front of his kid, and almost saying like, hey, don't fuck this up, right? Mm-hmm. And as Dan said, it's Billy the Marlin out there with a huge oversized glove. Now, the pressure got to this kid.
Not just the glove, though. You're looking through like what's effectively a screen door that's right here.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, the kid kind of lobbed it in up high, and I saw Billy trying to track it up high, but you can't see through that shit.
When you look up, eye holes,
when you look up, the eye holes stay at the same level.
The fucking, what is it? I mean, like the sword of the swordfish is right fucking on top of him.
So,
whatever the fuck you call it.
Yeah, so it wasn't a good idea to throw it high like that. So I tried to throw it right into his eye line, which I think I did a pretty good job of.
You should have beamed him right between the eyes.
He threw a perfect strike. It was a great event. It was cool to see, and they let you keep the ball, right?
Yeah, it's in me right now.
Inside of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually had it for a while.
Did you really?
Yeah, I took it to. I don't know. I give it back to you eventually, right?
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's you browned out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I ended up doing just barrel rolls, like in our backyard.
There was so much Hard AF seltzer drank that night. One guy blacked out inside of our suite and was moved outside of the suites. And
Are you trying to
he went
protect his reputation?
Sleep. No, it's Phil C's. I'll say
Phil
who it
C's
is.
did it.
Phil C's.
As a matter of fact, I think as soon as he showed up, he was already blacked out.
No, he was fine when he showed up because he just got off work.
Oh,
so
I see.
I saw him when he walked in, and I was like, I go, have you had the seltzer before? And he goes, no, not yet. I just moved to Miami and everything else. And I was like, oh, shit. You're definitely blacking out. And he's like, no, bro, I've changed. And I go, sure haven't, Phil. I've known you for a while. And he was blacked out. To the people that were there, because we had about 30 drinking bros inside the suite there. We rented it out. Destroyed that bar tab, and I get a call from the bank, and they were like, "Are you sure this much money is being charged right now?" And I was like, "I sure am." CFO's not going to be happy about it, but fuck them. Don't really care.
He wasn't there drinking.
Yeah, exactly. Phil C's now, on the other hand, was found the next morning in the bushes outside the stadium. So a police officer found him. Cheers.
It took 12 hours?
Not sure, but let me explain. So the only reason they even knew he was there, his legs were sticking out of the bush. So when you walked in, remember those bushes out there?
Yeah.
Legs were sticking out of the bush. So they thought it could have been a dead person or a homeless guy or maybe a combination of both.
So he is alive then.
He not only is alive, but I saw him on Facebook the next morning because I had an early flight at like 6 a.m. and he was on a boat wearing the same outfit with a bunch of girls and living his life and probably blacking out wherever that boat went.
Good for him.
I don't think he ever blacked back in.
I don't think so either.
You know what I mean?
I don't think so
he
either.
Just fucking was.
And then
just stayed.
It was a crazy weekend. Me and Rob somehow became best friends with Mike Piazza.
It's true.
Yes.
He smoked cigars with
Yeah,
Mike Piazza.
Yeah.
He's taking you to Turks and Caicos, I believe.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
actually a photo of me and Rob with Mike Piazza right in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's very close to us.
Yes, you guys are beef fries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is weird. Like, he was like, I like you guys. Like, you got chest hair, you don't got chest hair. And I was like, that's the only comment. And he was like, yeah. So Turks and Caicos? And we were like, yeah, whatever. You're a Hall of
let's go.
Famer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
little vacation. I hope you don't mind.
No, watch the Instagram. Is it at Dan Regester on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And then
Yeah.
what is yours?
At Rob Fox 3.
Yeah, so check those guys out on Instagram with Mike Piazza on a yacht somewhere in Turks and Caicos, and that'll be coming very soon. I feel like.
Yeah.
Down the pike. And then a quick update on the guy who got arrested. He was released, so he was fine. Another drinking bro talked him out of whatever happened at the
He's
stadium.
in FIU Fiji.
Was he really?
Yeah.
I think that's even more information than he would want broadcast.
Like I've
for
probably
sure.
crossed paths with him in college.
Yeah.
Because I used to go down to FIU for a few parties.
But he was fine the next day.
Yeah, he was fine and sober throughout the game.
No.
Yeah,
No, he drank all through the game. He just didn't
Did he?
get fucking sloppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't.
Yeah, he was good.
He didn't have 8 hard AFs for breakfast.
I think it just and it's happened to all of us, right? It'll sneak up on you.
Yes. Yes.
If-
it
especially
really
if
does.
it's the first time you've had that particular booze.
Holy
It doesn't
shit.
taste like the. It's important that booze tastes like booze sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
But ours is pretty good. So you can make people make mistakes.
It'll
sometimes.
get you. It'll get you.
But it all worked out in the end. So
It did. And thanks to everybody who came out. Again, that's why we bought the suite for you guys and all that stuff to say thank you. We had an absolute blast. And Billy the Marlin actually came up to the suite, took some photos with Billy, and we were able
He's
to
coming
post
with
those on
to,
social media. It's Turks and
Turks,
Caicos.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a surprise. He's a big cigar guy.
He Piazza kept measuring my torso versus his nose, like Billy's nose, and
Sure.
I was just like, is this for a suit? What? But
Yeah.
whatever.
I think you wanted to see how much of it would go inside you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's
but I'm
his
not
island.
I'm not a doctor, so
No, never
never
have been.
claimed to be. Yeah.
Never have been. So we came back, Saturday, some Saturday night-ish, and woke up hungover on Sunday, but I was actually amped to watch this Iowa LSU Women's National Championship game, which has never happened in my life. I don't think that I've ever sat through a game and watched a women's national championship game.
A lot of hype, though. You got a superstar in Clark.
You sure do. And this is something we've talked about on the show for years. Would it be possible to attract ratings to women's basketball? And we said, look, you're going to have somebody who transforms the game or big personalities who talk shit. And you had all of that in this game. And this was the first time ever that I had gone to a restaurant afterwards, and people were asking to turn on the women's national championship game.
It was fun, too. LSU was talking all that shit.
They were
in your face, aggressive from the jump.
Yes.
And their coach was all had to put like a
She's
dazzled
peacocking.
out.
Yeah.
They look like a bunch of
tiger
fucking assholes,
suit.
to be honest. They look so. It's all fucking stupid. I can't take trash talking women seriously. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's dumb to me. Like I appreciated there were two very good basketball teams. Right?
Yeah.
The game itself was pretty good, but the all that extracurricular shit is fucking gay.
That made it more fun.
It made it more fun for me,
No, it
I thought,
didn't.
too, yeah. And
That's
people at the
dumb.
restaurant who were just, completely casual, just watching it for the first time, everybody was into it because of that. Now, I will say this. I missed the first quarter, and you would texted me about...
First half, the girl from LSU's off the bench just couldn't miss.
Right.
She hit like 5 threes. I
5
think she
for
was
5
like
and three-pointers, 7 for 7
yeah.
in field goals, and had
Yeah.
21 points.
Jasmine something, but I don't think she scored in the second half.
Well, she was a bench player,
Yeah.
and I was surprised she didn't play she didn't play much in the second half. And it was surprising to see that. Caitlin Clark was as good as advertised. She dropped 30 in that game. But LSU could not miss a fucking shot in that. I mean, I've never seen a women's team make that many buckets on a consistent basis against a top-ranked squad.
They kind of called their shot, though.
They did. They
Yeah.
sure did before the game. And they said, hey, if you pull that bullshit defense you were playing Friday nights,
We're just going to make it rain.
yes.
Yeah, I don't think Iowa was particularly a good defensive team this year necessarily.
I don't think Iowa's a very good team. They just had the best player that we've seen in women's college basketball for probably ever.
And she's got another year.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah, she's got another. She's a junior.
It would
yeah.
be either her or Tarazi, right? Because Tarazi had a good run. back
Tarazi or
then.
maybe Candace Parker.
Yeah.
That would be the three that I would
Candace
pick.
Parker's a goat.
But,
Yeah.
well,
But Clark plays the game in a different way that kind of makes it a little bit more excited,
Yeah.
frankly.
Or what's her
and Clark,
face?
Caitlin Clark broke
Lisa
Well, no.
Swopes, Cheryl Swopes.
Cheryl Swope.
Swoops.
Yeah, they broke. So Caitlin Clark broke all of her records: scoring, most 3-pointers made, and assists made in the tournaments.
Swoops
in the
only played
history.
5 games, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People were saying that after the game. How many do you have to play now in women's?
Isn't it 6 or 7?
Not
It used to be
sure.
48 teams. Now it's 60. It's
Oh,
60.
so, okay,
So it's
gotcha.
one more
Forces,
round, so
yeah,
probably
yeah.
one more game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I liked so a lot of people credit the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Indiana, Michigan State rivalry, and particularly in March Madness for making college basketball as popular as it is today, making March Madness as popular as today. But on the heels of that, were fucking just like so much talent over and over. Worthy and Jordan came in shortly after that, and it just kept going. And we remember all those teams through the 90s, UNC and Duke teams, the Kansas teams. It's just not like that anymore in the men's side because of the one and done shit. But this is the moment for women's basketball to capitalize on that shit.
Yeah.
They need to. And look, I think ESPN owns all the rights to it.
They do, yeah.
So they'll be able to naturally market and promote it and stuff like that, which is nice. But they need to fucking for the game itself. Like I find all this stuff really irritating. But I think for fans, it's probably a good thing.
I mean, if I was talking to Dan about this before any of the shows started today, but like that's how a lot of the sports leagues when they started, like it was kind of roughneck assholes playing each other. And I mean, Ty Cobb was beating the shit out of cripples in the stands. Go just read about the NFL before World War II or even right after World War II. The ABA.
You need heels
Yeah.
and
Faces
faces,
and
right?
heels,
Like
yeah.
it's wrestling. All these people are like, "Oh, way to be classless, LSU." Like, fucking shut up.
Yeah.
Like, it's great.
It's an entertainment product.
Yeah, it's like the whole class act thing is like it's for the fucking birds, dude. Like nobody wants to see that shit.
I do like that LSU talked a little shit beforehand. If you remember Jordan in The Last Dance, he goes, "Only bitches talk shit when they're up." Like,
Yeah.
and that's what I felt about the way LSU pulled that game. Talk all your shit, before the game, like they did.
before?
They talk shit the entire game.
I know. Talk all your shit before the game, and then once you win, keep your fucking mouth shut. Don't be a cunt. And that's what they were. They acted like a bunch of idiots.
Yeah, I mean,
Like a bunch of fucking sore winners. Being magnanimous in victory. That's the part that fucking reels you back in to like, okay, this is all okay after you've talked your shit beforehand. But acting like a bunch of spoiled cunts like that after the game was, I think, pathetic, frankly.
And that Angel Reese girl took a lot of heat online, and they're bringing in the element of race to this, which I find hilarious.
I don't think, maybe it has something to do with it for some people. But
I don't think so.
She had a great fucking. What did she average? Like 25 points a game in the tournament or something
She
like
was
that.
the
She was
MVP
awesome.
or the MOP of the tournament.
She was really good.
But she only had 15 points, and her talking shit to Caitlin Clark, who dropped 30, doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And she didn't let it go for the last minute of the game. When the game was over, to Dan's points, they were up by 14 points. There wasn't a need at that point.
That is genuinely pathetic.
So that's why they came off as thuggish assholes. But she would not get out of her fucking face, and even followed her over to the bench. And that's why she's taking so much heat online.
Who knew all you needed to make women's basketball interesting and talked about was a race war? Like,
Well,
fucking.
I don't think it's a race war.
It literally is all over line. Like online right now. Like,
Yes.
They're just separating. Even the pregame, right? Like, you have all the white girls at Iowa dancing to what, like Taylor Swift or something?
Yes.
And then,
boy.
or like some like high school, like old school, like punk rock.
Correct.
And then you have, the LSU players like just dancing. And it is kind of like a cultural thing.
Oh, is it like
Bring It On?
No.
But
Well,
yes.
but yeah.
Yeah.
I was
yeah.
gonna say Hoosiers because it was black versus white.
Right.
But that's not what I read from it. I just thought like I don't really like the way that Caitlin Clark does that shit either. Like looking at the other team's bench and fucking trying to show people up. Fuck that bullshit.
So
you celebrate with your team. If you hit a three, put the three up in the air, bam, slap hands, do your little fucking celebration. But if you bring it over to the other team's bench, that's bullshit.
I'm
You know, like
okay with a
taunting?
little
I'm
bit. I'm okay with a
perfectly
little
fine
bit
with
of it.
taunting.
Like if you throw down, like in the NBA, like if somebody throws down, or at college basketball, somebody throws down a sick fucking dunk and they fucking like flex over the dude, they just drag their nuts across. I'm fine with that.
Allen Iverson stepping over Tyronn Lue.
Yeah. But you can absolutely beat anything to death for sure. Like you can beat anything into the ground. Like actually, the guy who I'm probably most like that with is Acuna, right? Like I love Acuna. I'll defend most of his like flexing because that's who he is. But every once in a while, I'm like, man, all right.
Yeah, but he doesn't fucking look at the pitcher and flex on him. He just flexes to celebrate. I don't understand why people don't see the difference between those two things. They're very fucking different.
Yes.
He'll talk to the other bench sometimes. He'll say
Everybody
some shit.
chirps from bench to bench.
Yeah.
But he doesn't hit a home run and then stare at the pitcher and fucking do like this. Oh, I got a ring.
Yeah.
I guess my whole thing was like, what did Caitlin Clark ever do to like the LSU players? Like, was there?
They were
Nothing.
mad that she showed up the Florida players.
No,
those are my
right.
SEC sisters. Like, no, you don't even know those people. What the fuck are you talking
what
about?
was South Carolina?
Carolina.
Or
South
whoever
Carolina.
it
But
was.
what they were saying was that was their strategy is they had a huge paint presence and they had big girls in the paint. So they dropped back all the bodies in the paints and then they left the 3-point line open for the girls to shoot.
And LSU's just like,
And they didn't shoot.
All right.
Yeah, South Carolina didn't shoot. But to me, that's not showing up another team. I do that for kids soccer. If there's a better kid on the fucking field and there's weaker ones, like I'll pick that out at a younger age too.
You pack the box like a bitch.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Like, and if it's towards the end of the game, I'll put all the fucking kids in goal. And if we're up 1-2 goals, to make sure we win the goddamn game. And that's just what it is.
Listen to how he got those trophies.
Exactly. But
That's not-
That's at a child level all the way up through this. So I don't understand why they felt disrespected by playing a different style of defense that suited a different team. Now, to your point about race, ESPN's first article here, LSU's Angel Reese, Iowa Clark's Caitlin Clark, and the double standards of race in sports.
Suck my dick.
To me, it wasn't a double standard of race. It's when she did it. And this will go back to what Dan was saying. It was the end of the game, and you wouldn't get out of the other girl's face up by 15 points. There's 40 seconds left.
Do people really not see the difference between hitting a shot and turning around after you're on fire and doing like this, not even looking over at the bench, but doing like this as you're running back down the court, and then getting in a girl's face and doing this and pointing at your fucking ring finger? Like, those are two completely different fucking actions.
When you're up by 15 points with 40 seconds
God
left.
damn it, dude. And
It doesn't make any sense.
Now the really irritating part about this is this stupid fucking bitch is going to be lionized in the media now. Like, oh, she's such a hero. And the way she described it was like, women that look like me need to be able to do stuff like that. Like, oh, great. Let's make it about that, you fucking bitch. Shut the fuck up.
And
Jesus
then her
Christ.
response today was, because everybody online was just like, look, are you really going to talk shit against Caitlin Clark, who just broke every record there ever was? And if she stays one more year, we'll break every single NCAA record there is. And her response was, I don't care about individual accolades. I wanted to win a championship. It was like, no, you sure did before you came up against the best person in college basketball. And then you realize she can just drop 30 from anywhere, shooting from the logo and shit. I mean, it was pretty wild. In my opinion, if it wasn't for that girl on the bench who had 21 points in the first half.
She went off, yeah.
And 7 for 7. That's a totally different ball game.
She even hits a bank shot at the end.
Maybe.
Yeah, dude.
But I think LSU was a better team overall. They were certainly deeper.
They seem
Yeah,
like
I
It
mean,
seemed like it.
Like,
Yeah.
and that's how you
Clark-
win. Like if you can having the best player in the fucking NCAA tournament on the men or women's side doesn't mean shit.
Clark, I think, was 64% of all of Iowa's points were either her scoring or assisting.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we used
For
to
the entire
love
tournament.
about March Madness was, when there's 5 players on a starting 5, one guy or girl could lead you to the finals, and it was possible. Steph Curry went on an unbelievable run with Davidson that year, because we'll flip this over to the men's side. We don't have that tonight. I don't know anybody in the free world that cares about this fucking game tonight. I'm going to bet on it because I'm a junkie, and I bet on Connecticut
7
2
points.
nights. Hey, I took 5.5 2 nights ago and won that on my bookie.
Yeah, I would take the 7.
Same. I'm taking the 7
Like
tonight.
Connecticut's probably going to win this game by 10 points.
I
or
agree.
More.
Yep.
Yeah, that is they're the most complete basketball team, at least their performance-wise, that I've seen in the tournament a long ass time.
Yep.
They don't. There's no weaknesses on that team, and they execute really well. They stay in their game plan. Basketball is a game of runs, right? There's going to be 2 to 4 minute periods where you can't hit a shot and the other team hits everything. You just got to weather that storm, stay in your fucking focus, stay in your fundamentals, make the fucking plays that you make, and not panic. And Connecticut does it really well.
Yep.
Connecticut is the team that everybody thought Gonzaga was last year or the year before.
Exactly.
To be honest, 'cause there's not a superstar on that team.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's a good team.
Yep.
San Diego State, they don't panic either. They're
Dude,
old.
no,
They're
they
old
are-
as fuck.
But
too.
they were down. I
got-
watched it, but they were down the entire game until
Yeah.
that last second shot. That was the first lead they've ever had in the entire game.
Yeah, they don't, but they have ice water in their veins too, right? I mean, that plays at that fucking level. You just can't. But against Connecticut, the way they execute, they don't fucking turn the ball over a lot. If you get down early again,
Oh,
like San
Connecticut
Diego State
turns the ball over a lot.
does. Well, not lately.
Not lately. This tournament, they've won by an average of 16
Yeah.
It
points. a
doesn't
game.
mean they're not turning the ball.
Yeah,
over.
but they still turn the ball over.
Well,
a
they're
lot.
creating more than they're getting. Then
Yeah, whatever they're
100%,
doing, I mean, it's incredible. The run that they're on is, I mean, they're
Again.
skull fucking people.
I know you still got to factor in Dan Hurley losing his head. Like he's just gonna go.
Well, let's do it now.
Berserk.
Again, we're brought to you by MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposits. D'Anthony, who do you have in tonight's game? -7 for UConn.
I'll take Connecticut at any amount that Vegas says. To
Yep.
be honest,
Same. What about you, Delco?
I mean, UConn should win this game pretty easily, but you know what? Fuck it. I'll go with San Diego State outright.
money line, or are you taking the points?
Yeah, money line.
I'll be rooting for San
Outright.
Diego State.
Outright.
You think they're going to win the tournament tonight?
Yes.
It would be hilarious. I wouldn't mind to see it.
No, I'll be rooting for him for sure. I just think UConn's been so locked in, man. How do you that? This
I
is,
don't know.
It's how you win in short tournaments like this.
Yep.
But at least I can like kind of compute San Diego State winning a national championship. If FAU was in this,
That would've been
and they won a
dumb.
natty, it wouldn't even
They were this close.
make sense.
I think
They were a tenth of a second away from being
But what
in
do you
this game.
think if FAU had made it to this game? I think it would have been like UConn probably
By 40.
-10,
Yeah,
probably
it
would've
minus
been a
11,
double
something like
digit.
that.
Yeah.
But also next year, FAU's bringing back, I think, the entire team.
And if the coach comes back,
He should.
you got
should.
qu-
Like
you got
you're
a
not
squad.
going to do better, are you?
Yeah.
Like just ride that team out.
Yeah, this isn't
try to
like-
get back and then get a
Or
job.
go coach Bronny James at Ohio State.
Who is it that left last year?
Somebody said that?
Prince, or what the fuck was that? Pierce?
from
No, the school, the 15 seed that made it to the Elite Eight.
St. Pete's.
Oh, St.
St.
Peter's.
Pete's. That's
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
that dude left.
yeah, but
But that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
He went to
This
Seton
one-
Hall, because that's a better job.
This one doesn't make sense to leave.
Not yet.
And
This-
especially
There's
not
just
if you make it
no
all the way to the
open
Final Four.
gig right now. That's
This is kind of like
Maybe Ohio
what's his
State with
fuck.
Bronny James, but whatever, man. You know,
It's kind of like the dude at Butler, our guy from Butler who went to the Celtics, Brad Stevens.
Brad
Yeah, like
Stevens, yeah.
all those dudes were coming back the next year. Don't leave yet.
Yeah.
Don't leave
Yeah.
give it
yet.
another year and then get the better job.
By the way,
Yeah.
UConn 15 turnovers against in their last game, and then I skipped Gonzaga because that was such a blowout. Who cares how many times they turn the ball over, but 17 turnovers against Arkansas.
That is a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah,
That's shocking.
They do it.
How many are they creating? What are the other team at?
I'll double check that. But
Who do you got tonight, Bob? -7, UConn.
I think San Diego State covers for sure. So I would just take the points there. They're just they're old, like they haven't been rattled. They fucking fought back every time.
One of the best defenses in the country.
I know UConn's on, but they've kind of farted. They've sharded this year before, so maybe who knows?
All right, now let's get to this over-under of 132. What do you do there? Because they do have a decent defense. Because that's
over.
That's a 67-67 game there, I think. Or no.
National
Is my math
championship.
right? Yeah, my math is
National championship. Their buttholes are going to be kind of puckered up.
right.
Yeah.
I go under.
So that's a 67-66 final is what this would be. You go under?
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Bob?
Over. I think they're both going into the 70s.
I'm going to take the over as well. You can also tease these on mybookie.com. So if you get a parlay on this, it'll take off 5 points of the over-under and 5 points off the spread of the game. So you can take UConn down to -2. I'm going to drop this
on a
over.
teaser.
Yeah, on a teaser as well. I'm going to bet this probably 3 different ways tonight. Subscribe to
They do 5-point teasers. Usually basketball's 4.
Yeah, they do 5. They offer a 4. They offer a 3.5, a 4, and a 5 on MyBookie, which is great. And I will drop these bet slips as soon as we get off air and Drinkin' Bros Sports on Facebook. Free group to sign up. Just don't be an asshole. It's the only rules. D'Anthony, who do you got in this over under of 132?
I'll take the over. I think this game's got the potential to go into overtime. To be honest.
Also, I agree with that.
Honestly, I mean Connecticut plays really good defense as well. I could see some cold streaks and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be over.
Also, San Diego State in the backcourt, they have the advantage. They have the better guards.
I think UConn's going to win by 20+ tonight. And if there's an option on MyBookie, I don't have my phone on me.
You can certainly take alt lines
yeah,
live.
Yes, and that's awesome, and I'm going to do that as well. Well, they now offer them before the games on MyBookie, so I'm going to take that as well, and I'll probably jack this up to at least 14.
What do you think that math looks like, though? Because UConn, so far, they've been averaging 55 to 58% field goal percentage, and their opponents have been in the 35 to 40% range, which is obviously quite a bit less. So is San Diego State going to be able to crunch through that fucking defense?
By the way, UConn was only, again, in those same 2 games I referenced, only 9 and 10 turnovers against the other teams.
Yeah, they didn't get many. I mean, this season so far they've gotten a lot, but
so
not.
They've been relying quite a bit on efficiency, essentially.
Which is not the best recipe for success, I guess. I mean, you don't want to rely on making jump shots.
It's easier to disrupt efficiency than it is, say, rebounding or pace, or not necessarily pace, but like a team that turns the ball over and stuff like that. You can make a team inefficient, and then things start to get wobbly.
I think there's going to be a fucking brick fight.
I think
that's advantage seating.
I don't think so.
know.
I think San Diego State has never been on this big of a stage before, and I think they'll collapse.
Well, neither
They
have
have.
any of these kids from
Kind
UConn.
of. Not
But
natty,
UConn as a program, though, has been for
Yeah, but how does that affect you as an individual?
Rip Hamilton ain't coming out there. That fat guy, El Amin, isn't coming out there.
Are you going to make me jack this up to 20 here? All right, so if you take -20, UConn -20 tonight on MyBookie, it is a 6-1 odds on that.
That's too low.
Yeah, what?
That should be
6-1
10 to
for
1.
A 20-point.
That's bad
Blowout?
odds.
I don't
for
think
that.
so. I think they're expecting a blowout. I really do.
You would
it's -7 already.
You would still get boned. It would be like you would lose. UConn wins by like 17 or something like that. I don't see 20+ points. Nah.
Yeah,
that's going to be at least 10 to 1.
What is it at 15? That's probably more reasonable.
15 points is 3 to 1.
Fuck that.
3 to 1 odds.
None of this is good.
I'm telling you, I think Vegas is expecting a blowout.
I'm not saying it isn't going to happen. I'm saying those
That's
odds
the only.
suck.
But I understand. But I think that's the reason why the odds
is expecting that.
I am. You guys aren't.
the squares.
That's a public side.
You guys aren't. But I fully am expecting a blowout, same as Vegas. Obviously.
This is also.
How do they rebound, these two teams? So if we get into a brick fest, who wins that? I know.
Let me get my laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and grab it.
So UConn's 2 best players are bigs.
Yep.
Not necessarily good rebounding bigs though.
But they're good shooters. I mean,
they're efficient in the paint. Yeah.
and they're good free throw shooters too, which is surprising. Usually, big men can't shoot free throws that good.
You know who else could shoot free
And
throws
these
real
guys
good?
are all right. Not San Diego State.
Old Zach Edey.
San Diego State could not fucking
Yeah,
buy a free throw at the end of that
UConn's
game.
been dumping about 80% from free throw line, which is pretty decent for college, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna jack up these fucking odds tonight, dude. I'm amped now.
You need to calm down.
That's the only way I can get into this game because I don't really give a shit about any of these, like either two of these teams. UConn against somebody else maybe, but not San Diego State. I didn't feel like they deserved to be there anyways. They were down the entire game, and then
Why did they not deserve? They came back and won that game.
They did, but the other team missed like fucking 9 free throws.
That means the other
end.
team didn't deserve to win.
Either way, neither team should have been in this game against UConn. Right?
Yeah.
I think when UConn wins by 20 tonight, we'll have a different discussion tomorrow. That's just my guess. But you guys are taking San Diego State outright money line. And how much do you put on that?
No, I'm taking the points. I think San Diego State covers.
Okay, with points, and you're taking a money line.
I'm taking all the equity I have.
Smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
I mean, UConn's been out rebounding people by 8 to 10 pretty much every game.
Yeah, they are the second best team in the country at grabbing offensive boards. However, San Diego State's not really a slouch in rebounding. Like they're both excellent rebounding.
I would
teams.
love to see a dogfight here, but they both shoot pretty well from three as well. I think San Diego State's shooting about 38% from three for the tournament.
I'm not totally unconvinced that this isn't the best team UConn has played in the tournament so far.
It is.
Well, this is definitely the best team that San Diego State is playing.
You can make an argument for Bama.
Creighton.
Get the fuck out
No,
of here.
I never believed in Bama all year.
They
and,
evaporated.
They're gone.
That dude, that kid's he declared for the draft too, right?
Yeah,
They
Miller
beat
declared for the
Bama. They
draft.
beat Creighton. Creighton, maybe the best starting five in the country.
I think that there's a bigger disparity in talent for what UConn has faced so far versus tonight versus what San Diego State has faced so far versus tonight.
Maybe Gonzaga was not very good.
No,
Obviously. I mean, just not performance-wise, obviously. They got blown the fuck out. But, man, that team, what the fuck happened there?
I don't know.
it's just squishy.
It's like you, as a program, when you have that many, like Jalen Suggs and people like that coming through your program, and all of a sudden you've got Drew Timmy's the last guy left and nobody else, what the
Yeah.
fuck happened?
He'll be Sacramento King next year.
Yeah, he and Chet will fucking play together again.
Drew Timmy is not making the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
He'll
he will.
play an NBA game before Chet does.
They said,
No, he won't.
They said during the broadcast that he's an early second rounder, so he's going.
That
He's
means
gonna be
he's
a
going
G
to
leaguer.
he's
Yeah.
going to a franchise maybe.
Chet Holmgren's in a hospital right
Yeah,
now. So.
Chet. I sincerely hope he gets drafted the same team as Chet Holmgren and makes the NBA before.
God, I can't wait till
that- if
fucking.
he's Oklahoma State-
I don't
That
even
DPOY.
like Chet Holmgren, but I can't wait till he pushes your shit
I
in.
can't wait, dude. And I watched that Wemby guy play over the weekend.
Oh yeah, he looks good, man.
He looks
Damn.
good, but god damn it, dude.
This is a fucking highlight
He's
of
a
him
stick
missing a
figures.
three, but then
Doesn't
also
matter.
Dunking.
getting the
Yeah.
rebound and dunking
Dunking
it.
it.
Yeah,
was-
but
it
to be
was-
honest, nobody even boxed out of that play. It's not like he
Who
jumped.
gives
over the
a
top.
shit? That's
He's a
insane.
stick
You could do
figure.
that if it was like he was the only guy on the court.
7'5".
No, he's a stick figure.
Yeah.
He's a stick figure.
He's gonna fill out.
Yeah, he
so
definitely-
will Chet. You get into an NBA, like a professional sports team's like lifting program, you're gonna fill out.
How did Durant fill out?
Durant did. Is Durant terrible?
No, he's not. But
He's awesome.
He shoots threes. He's not an
So
inside
does Wemby.
guy.
Yeah, but Wemby
he
will be
can
able to
shoot.
shoot over pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
Durant goes inside all the time. He doesn't just shoot threes. He's not like a 3-point shooter.
No,
He's
he's
never post up. I've never seen Durant post up in his life.
dunks on fast breaks, but for the most part, he's a wing and 3-point shooter
Sure
at
is.
this point, especially
Sure
now.
is. Yeah, and that's where
You can look at his shot
But
chart.
that's nobody wants anyone to post up.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah. Do
Right,
you want
so-
DeRozan? Do you want just long twos?
Well, who do you think he's going to be guarding when he gets to the NBA?
7'5" guy.
Yeah, Giannis. He's going to be guarding a guy like Giannis. Their body types are so wildly different that
Can I show you young Giannis before
Yeah,
you? fucking,
Giannis,
like,
when
he was also a twig.
When he was shooting over fucking broomsticks on his film, like to get drafted, nobody knew who Giannis was.
He's going to be Wemby will
got a
be
pic of this guy? Let's see.
unguardable for sure.
Yes. He's going to
Just
get
like-
buckets at will.
Durant
this
is
a fucking
unguardable as well.
stick compared to who he is now. Or here's an even better one. This is young Giannis right here in Europe. This guy skinny as fuck. He got jacked with the butt.
Not to mention, he's going to get to America. He's going to put on weight because he's going to
Yeah.
be eating processed foods.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
don't want to go full
That's
fucking Embiid with that, you know.
yeah, it depends
Zion.
on the candy,
or
how much he
Zion.
likes candy.
Zion's not. Zion was born here, motherfucker.
I know, but I'm
He-
saying Zion when he got to New Orleans.
Yeah.
But you don't think look,
Got a
you're a huge Philly fan. You don't think Embiid would dominate that guy because I sure do.
Oh well,
He's not guarding Embiid.
Yeah,
He will be guarding Embiid.
He's a guard.
No, he's
No, he's not going to be a guard. You're not going to put the 7-foot guy guarding John Stockton or a fucking. That's not going to happen.
Why not?
Maybe. I haven't seen him play defense actually.
I haven't either.
'Cause you got to be able to run backwards.
The one thing I
to
haven't
play
seen, yes, is him play defense.
Right?
Yep.
Like you have to be
He'd
able
be
to
like a 0.5, sure. You can just like take
guard
the ball
guard
up
a
and-
3 or something like that.
I mean, I
Guard
kind of feel like you got to put a guy like that in the zone. You can't play that
How do
guy
you put a
one-on-one.
7-foot guy?
have him
7'5"
fucking
guy?
have him just fucking collapse into the box when someone goes in and swat that fucking ball from behind. He's gonna be able to reach over him like it's nobody's business.
What do you think he's going to guard? Ja Morant?
I'm not gonna guard Morant.
Well,
He'll
you
guard
don't
like
have
a,
to- you
he'll
don't
guard
have
like a
to.
wing.
He could maybe guard not a slasher wing,
Also,
a shooter wing. Yeah,
Who
but
did Dirk guard ever?
not one person in his entire career.
Right.
Yeah.
And he did just fine.
Well, he made the Hall of Fame.
He made the Hall of Fame.
He
Yeah.
won a
He got
title.
chip,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big body, though. Big body on Dirk.
He's a little bit
Can I
bigger.
show you young Dirk? He was. He's
was
all
a
these
stick.
twinks that you're like, oh, they were jacked.
Dude,
Look.
show me a picture of Dirk Nowitzki's ankles at 19 versus this kid. It's not even fucking close. I
Yeah,
know he
dude.
was
This
smaller.
This dude's an
than-
alien.
I know you love Chet Holmgren, and it collapsed in your faces last year. When both
I
of us
can't
said
wait.
Oh my God!
he
can't
wouldn't
wait.
play
Embiid
one
didn't
game
play
in the
for
NBA.
like 3 fucking years.
And neither will Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, didn't
Call me in
fucking-
2029.
So what is Embiid now? Like a perennial all-star.
For 3 years, probably, until he breaks down as well. You know. They look. Philly's not.
He
winning
gets like
anything.
a good nutrition program. We're not gonna win something. Okay. We're the 13th in the East.
Well, who's going to have the first pick in the draft? Because that's where he's going to go.
The number one, the odds are out because the
Who is he going to?
Because it's still
Who's the worst team,
it's
the
a
Magic?
lottery still, even if you
Or
have the
the-
worst
right.
record, right?
Detroit. They're gonna give they're gonna rig it so it's not like he's not gonna end up in Detroit.
Detroit or Houston. Houston would be fine.
No.
Detroit. Detroit, I think, has the number one odds.
He'll end up in Houston. He needs to go to a big market.
Houston has a number. Houston, San Antonio, and Detroit are all tied right now.
Houston's not a big enough market, by the way. If you're looking to make a
What?
dent here, yeah, not
the
at all.
third biggest market in the country.
Houston?
Houston's
The fourth
third
biggest city in the
yeah.
country.
It's the third in our state, right?
No,
No.
it's the biggest in the state.
Biggest in the
Really?
state,
Yeah.
It's
Fucking gross.
Houston. I think San Antonio is actually.
Why
bigger
doesn't
than
anybody go
Dallas,
to their
isn't it?
shit?
What do you talk? Go to what shit?
Nobody goes to Houston Titans. What are they?
The Texans? That's
Yeah.
because the Texans suck.
The Texans are
Nobody
they were-
goes to the
they were-
Rockets games.
They're
Nobody
also-
does
They
any of
also
that shit.
the Rockets were sold out
Everyone-
every day in the Harden days and the
Everyone
Chris
goes
Paul
to
days.
Astro games.
Yeah, the Astros are fucking crowds are crazy.
The Rockets would be interesting. They got Jalen Green over there.
Yeah. Brooklyn would be good for him.
Gross.
Not
Scott,
gonna
do you want to
happen.
play for that team?
Brooklyn's
not
making the
gonna happen.
playoffs. How
Yeah,
are
Brooklyn's
they
not in the lottery.
No, I'm just saying if they were going to rig it somehow, like
You can't rig.
Kevin
You can't rig
Porter
Brooklyn
Jr.
up there
too.
though. It would have to be
lottery
Chicago
team.
might be in the lottery. That would be one maybe, but
Chicago would be great for him.
or Dallas might.
Dallas
No,
would
Dallas
be-
gonna make the playoffs, right?
I mean,
maybe.
No.
10 teams make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
technically.
they're out. They're a game out right now. Here's who's out of it. Utah is out of it. Gross.
Ew.
You don't want to see him in Utah. Portland, gross. You don't want to see him there. You'll be
I
invisible.
don't
San
know.
Antonio will be
I don't know.
invisible.
Portland with Dame might be interesting.
It would. But man, how does that dynamic?
But then
work
on in the East, it's the Wizards, Magic, Pacers, Hornets, and Pistons.
That's all a waste of time.
The most interesting one would be the Magic because they have so much young talent on that team. But I don't know if that even makes sense for them. If I was the Magic and I had the first pick in the draft, I would trade it for a fucking veteran to put with all those young guys.
You just take the best player. And
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just take a
figure it
generational
out, yeah.
talent.
figure it out later.
Let's see here. They're talking about that fucking 3-point dunk here.
Yeah.
NBA exec said, I wish I would have tanked the draft. I don't even know if it's possible because it's still a ping pong system and all that shit. So
Frozen
yes,
envelope.
the
Yeah,
top-
what
yeah.
league is he playing in exactly?
It's some French fucking
California
thing,
Penal League or something?
Something.
Yeah.
That's what. By the way, speaking of the California Penal League, Spencer Strider with 99 on, way better. Not as a pitcher. That just makes way more sense to
Yeah.
me because he's also kind of a fucking nerdy dude
He
with
is.
a big goofy mustache and
Yeah.
shit. I think he's gonna win the Cy Young this year.
Okay. Well, we'll get to it in a second. Meantime, we got some sponsors who put this shit wagon on the air. Again, first and foremost, mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Look, kids, you got tonight's game on. You got the Masters this weekend. We'll be doing a Masters preview here tomorrow, I believe. When is that going to drop? Wednesday?
No, we'll do it tomorrow.
Okay. And drop it tomorrow?
We'll drop it tomorrow.
You
Give
seem-
the people
Need
time.
time.
You
People got to
seem-
draft their Calcuttas and shit like that.
Super
Oh yeah,
confident in
I got the
this.
Calcutta.
Do
coming
you
up on
really?
Wednesday too. So
For
I
the Masters?
for the Masters. I somehow, I had 4 Sweet 16 teams and 2 Elite 8 teams. No, 2 Elite 8 teams made no money.
Yeah, none.
I broke even.
Yeah.
because Texas and Creighton blew it. But now we're gonna make some money.
We're going to make some money. All the odds, again, are on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin' Bros will double that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Turn your love of sports into your new side hustle. Make a little cash. Those Masters odds are great, too. I like them a lot. And then drinkinbrostickets.com if you want to go to any of these events. Tonight's game, actually, this is the cheapest ticket for a national championship game in the last 40 years, I think. So if this is on your bucket list and you are in Houston and want to go to this game tonight, I can promise you, usually these tickets run for about $500 a piece. They're going for under $100 right now. Yeah. And you can go and sit anywhere, watch the national championship, and check that off your bucket list. So
they're playing at the Rockets Arena?
Nope.
No.
NRG.
So that's 80,000 people there.
Good. Because, the Rockets would be, what, 20,000 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toyota Center is
because it's a school where, like San Diego State, you don't grow up a San Diego State fan. You're only a San Diego State fan if you went to San Diego State.
If you went to school there.
And there's really, like, I'm sure there are some UConn T-shirt fans, but, like...
There's a couple. Yeah.
A couple.
They would be older at this point because they haven't been dominant like they used to be back in the day. Actually, there might be more women's UConn T-shirt fans than men's.
You grew up
really
in that
might
area, you're probably a UConn fan.
Fucking Gino had put it together. That's hard to argue with that success.
Right before game time here, tickets are $50. So
they need to stop playing these fucking
You
things
can get
in
hammered.
Stadiums.
Hey, look, though, if it's a bucket list item and you want to go see it because they give out cool shit and all that stuff, Dan and I have been before. It's a blast. I think you guys have been as well, right?
Yeah. I've been to the Final Four, but not the Natty.
Yeah. It's fun, and it is a bucket list item. This is the 1 year. You can get $50 tickets.
I think it's going to be a great game.
I
think it's going to be a great game, legitimately.
And it could be, but also, just to say you were there at a national championship, you will never in your life get something for $50 and go get fucked up with your buddies. So if you want to do it and it's on your list, now's the chance to do it. We'll switch on over to baseball here like we were talking about. Who came out of the gates hot this weekend?
The best team in baseball, the Philadelphia Phillies at 0-3.
Yeah, there they are. Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
Are we the good luck charm this year? They're 3-0.
Yeah. Or
the Marlins are 1-3.
Or they started out against the Tigers.
We didn't have to say that.
The Tigers are terrible. They're terrible. That's who they opened up
and
against.
The Tampa Bay Rowdies lost again this weekend.
I
God damn it.
I think the year the Braves won the World Series, they started out 0-3. I mean,
they were it out into the universe.
They were
Let's manifest that.
Not
shit.
only just 0-3, but they were. I think they lost 11 of their first 14 games.
It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
To be fair, the Rangers are loaded this year. All right,
they kind of are. I mean, they have dudes.
I don't know why we opened up against the Rangers because
it's just the way it goes.
That offense is tough.
Yeah,
the pitching is okay.
DeGrom got smacked around.
Well, yeah, once you get past the first two starters, the pitching is just okay, but that offense is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch. I'm going to go up to some games here pretty soon and check them out.
It's a blast, man. Going to these games, we get to see some of these young guys in person. I was really impressed with that Chisholm kid, that Chisholm Jr. in Miami.
Jack Chisholm, yeah.
God damn it,
yeah,
dude.
so he looks lost in the outfield right now, which is good for us in two ways. One, he's learning the outfield, so when he comes over to the Braves next year, he'll know how to play it.
Yep.
And two,
and left.
Yeah, and
left. He's in center now.
Yeah, they just took a guy that's never played outfield in his life. Like, hey, you're fast.
Yeah, go play outfield.
It's that easy, right?
Yeah.
But he's fast. He jerked out a fucking home run. That was
he's
just mighty.
And he made that catch in the outfield.
He did, that sliding catch in the outfield.
To be honest, that probably should have been a routine play.
Yeah.
But
it made Delco $500. So I believe Delco bought a jersey of him afterwards.
Not
rightfully
a jersey.
so.
I was looking at jerseys in the stadium, though. I bought a hat, and then I was looking at the retro Dontre
Willis.
Willis
D-Train.
jerseys. Yeah. And it was like $450. I'm like, I'll pass.
They got some dope gear. D'Anthony and I, after his first pitch that night, ran into Chisholm's parents actually inside the gift shop.
His mom and his sister. Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, it was funny. His sister was taking his her son, his little nephew, is probably like 5 years old, maybe. Yeah. Around to all the things that had his face on him and taking pictures of him.
That's funny. That's
cute. It was really cool to see, and then he showed out all weekend, so it was fun, man.
Yeah, he's got a super tight family apparently, so hopefully again they move up to Atlanta soon because we really like that guy.
And we liked his family. They were very pleasant people.
And I don't want Marcell Ozuna on my fucking baseball. I don't care how many home runs he hits. I want him gone.
He's a piece of shit.
Yep.
Get out.
Switch him for Chisholm, and I'm all good on that.
But the Braves got off to a pretty good start too. They dumped one yesterday because their Schuster, their young starter made his debut and walked like 5 people. I don't know if it's nerves or what the fuck was going on with him.
Bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bust. I do
he's not
declare
really-
he's going to be a bust.
He's not really supposed to be pitching right now in the major leagues. Like,
No,
we
no,
just
no,
kind of
no.
got to patch up the back end of the rotation. I'm
Yeah,
a little
just
worried about
Make
it.
excuses. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm a little worried about Atlanta in this upcoming series against St. Louis. Not a great team to catch.
Get out the brooms.
when you don't have a lot of starting pitching depth right now.
Well, neither do they.
They don't. It might be. I mean, you might want to bet some overs if you're going to bet baseball this week.
Their offense is real top heavy. After 5, it kind of dumps off. Ours is not like that. The Braves' offense is solid 1 through 9.
I agree.
No matter, and they have 2 or 3 dudes they can plug in anywhere in that lineup as well.
So we were with some of the executives over the weekend, obviously, and not privately, but because we're going to tell it on the show. But I asked them, I said, who do you think is the best team in baseball? And they were like, talent-wise, it's the Braves by far.
It's not even close.
That's
to be
what they
honest.
said, yeah.
And it's because every other team has some kind of glaring weakness of some sort. The Dodgers' offense is kind of on the down. Same situation with the Mets and the Cardinals after the first 5-6 hitters. It kind of goes off rapidly after that. Not a lot of teams are solid 1 through 9. There's a couple, but the ones that don't have great starting pitching or they don't have a great bullpen. The Braves have all that shit. But that doesn't mean anything because they had all that shit last year, too.
Yeah.
And they got bounced in the second round.
They
right?
have one glaring weakness.
What's that?
Ego.
Something that I want to bring up, which is pretty controversial right now, is the pitch clock. I thought it was a bad idea. Said it on the show. I think somebody else said it was a bad idea, too. Once I got there in the stadium and got to see it in person, I fucking loved it, and it sped up the game. I highly enjoyed it. There was a lot more action, and now you're forced to watch every single fucking thing because there's a clock on it, and it's no different than the NBA and everything else once you're inside the stadium. I loved it. Thoughts from you guys?
I think it needs some tweaks, but I don't have a problem with it.
Make it faster.
No.
I don't know. You can't, right?
8 seconds.
Then have like the noise when it gets down to 5, it starts beeping progressively loud. Boom,
Oh,
boom, boom,
yeah.
and it's like made people panic. Fuck.
I want to say fans in Milwaukee were counting it down the other day.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, they were like 5, 4, like when the guy wasn't getting on the mound, like for the
great.
opposing pitcher.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think it needs to go. I think right now with no runner on, it's 20 seconds.
No, it's 15 with no runner on. It's 20 with a runner on.
Okay, and
Yeah.
then to start a new at bat, it's 25 seconds or something like that. I think they need
yeah.
to play with the numbers. It seems like it's rushed a little bit, but I like it. I mean,
So I'm glad you brought that up. There was a memo that went out over the weekend about making some tweaks like that. So they are going to do that. But as a fan of baseball, I thought I would have hated it, and I loved it.
well, the most important part of it is the way that it is adjudicated by the home plate umpire. If you have a guy that's really into the game that knows what he's doing, and he's like using the not the letter of the law, but the fucking purpose of the
Spirit
law
of the law, yeah.
to make those choices. Like the guy on opening night that we saw was fucking great. Everything he did was great because anytime there was any kind of force majeure interruption, like an active guy, like something that nobody necessarily was responsible for, a guy's not out fucking around with his batting gloves or something just delayed it a little bit, he would step out, tell the guy to restart the clock and get back in.
Right.
That's got to be done very well. Otherwise, this is going to become a problem. But the umpires in baseball are mostly really fucking good. There's 3 that suck worse than any human beings on earth. They may as well join ISIS.
The worst refs-
CB Buckner, Angel Hernandez specifically, they should be launched into the sun.
Yeah, they're fucking.
The worst refereeing I've seen recently out of all the sports has been this college basketball tournament, both men's and women's.
Every year.
Every
year.
The coach for LSU physically ripped the arm of the referee. That would have been a 10-game suspension any other year.
I mean, you would have been thrown out of the game.
I mean, that Angel Reese fucking in somebody's face taunting like that, you would have been teed up.
Teed
for
up
that as
multiple
well.
she didn't get
times.
attacked for
And
it,
then-
but she was somehow treated differently or
Then
something.
I think Caitlin Clark rolled the ball to the ref, and she got teed up for that.
She got teed up for that.
Well, yeah, it's obviously super racist.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the worst refereeing I've seen. Baseball, I agree with you. Those 3 guys, and then pretty much they're pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, you can go to ump scorecards, I think.
Yeah, it's on it's a
on
Twitter account.
But they have a website as well where you can look into the entire history of these guys.
Okay.
And they rank them by accuracy and stuff. The vast majority of Major League Baseball umpires are really, really good at their jobs.
Yeah.
And for some reason, these couple of dudes that are really bad continue to. I don't know what it is.
They're just
like,
garbage.
I wonder why the other umpires aren't like, because it is a union, that's fair, but the people inside the union have the authority to fucking change things if they want.
There was a thing with Buckner and Ali Marmol, the Cardinals manager in spring training, where Buckner like refused to take the lineup card from him or some dumb shit like that because Marmol criticized his poor performance. And the other umpires apologized to the Cardinals manager. They're like, "We're sorry, man. He's an asshole. We know." So they fucking know. Like they fucking know.
They definitely know.
But they're protecting their own. I think. Honestly, I don't know what else it would be.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, that worked out really well for police.
Right, yeah. It's at ump
teachers.
scorecards.
It's umpscorecards.com as well as the website. You can go check out all these guys' fucking stats. The accuracy, not just behind the plate, but also calling. Because Angel Hernandez is a guy who already this season has had 3 consecutive calls he's made overturned. Three in a row. And it wasn't like he called all 3 out. He was wrong in different ways on every single one. It's like, if you're not good, if you're really, really good at one thing and you kind of are okay at the rest, like, all right, cool, I guess. He's a home run hitter.
Yeah.
He's a little home run heater, you know?
A little home run heater.
But if you suck at everything, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
Angel Hernandez sucks so bad that he gets heckled in public.
Oh, yeah.
Like, when people see him out in public, he gets heckled.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even, nobody should even know your fucking name if you're the umpire.
Did you hear the story? And maybe you did just because we were talking about it or something, but you as the listener, did you hear the story about Angel Hernandez suing the MLB for being racist for not letting him umpire in the playoffs?
And then
Probably not.
Then during the discovery period of that, the Major League Baseball offered up his rates, like how accurate he was. And they're like, no, we don't choose you because you suck.
And then the fact that the national sports writing media did not run with that is because even they fucking knew that it's not race. He's just fucking terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, same with last night's game. It wasn't race. It was when it happened, and it's like, fuck off.
I will say this. It's 1,000 times more likely that it's a race issue with that game than it is with Angel Hernandez, because Angel Hernandez
is the worst.
There is no, like, he's so bad, no one could possibly ascribe it to racism.
That's funny. We'll switch on over to college football here. Jalen Carter, God damn it, this kid makes the worst decisions on the fucking planet here, is refusing to meet with anybody outside the top 10 for this month's draft. His agent is Drew Rosenhaus, huge shock there. Says, I'm confident Jalen will go in the top 10, that there's just no need to meet with anybody else outside of 10. Now, I looked who had 10, and it was the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was the last meeting he did take out of there. With all this bad PR, why even put this statement out, even if you're not going to visit everybody else?
I don't know, man.
It's fucking insane.
He's a stud. He'll get drafted.
But if you're betting on this, because, hey, we're doing a huge live show for the NFL draft, mybookie.com. We'll have all the odds to this. I think there is an over-under of 10. Do you think he'll go under 10 in the draft? You do?
Off talent.
Okay.
Alone.
I think he's going 8.
Well, there's 2 teams that said no, and the 8th team was
Is it Detroit?
It's the Falcons.
Oh, the Falcons.
They said no. Falcons said no, and the Raiders also said no. They're not drafting him.
Oh, the Raiders said no.
Good.
Correct.
Good.
Okay.
I mean,
Correct.
honestly, I don't want to root for the guy because he's being a bitch right now, but good for him.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play for
And
those
also, the
motherfuckers.
Raiders are like, look, we've drafted enough car accident creators
Yeah,
lately. We don't.
That's exactly what they said. Their statement was, we cannot take another risk again with a draft choice like this who's got character issues. But so they pulled themselves out. Falcons pulled themselves out. And that leaves you with 8 teams. And the reason why the odds are so high, 4 of them are going to be quarterbacks.
Right.
So they're out.
Remember when people were chirping Todd McShay when he brought this up like months ago?
Oh, yeah.
Talking about how Carter's like, yeah, he's got character issues. Like,
But
I can't really get into it, but like, I
We
will
told
say
you
that.
what it was on the show. Like his own teammates said he was lazy. He never practiced, never showed up for practice, and didn't fucking care.
It's more than that, but obviously.
Well, later on, but he didn't know about the car
No,
accident. shit.
McShay knew more than you remember.
You think he knew about the car accident?
Not that, but like other stuff.
Because the car accident hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But he just knew he was a piece of shit, apparently.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people did,
Or
even his
very
own
dumb.
teammates. But yeah, Jesus, man, it'll be fun for us on draft nights. Where would he go then? So if the Falcons are out, the Raiders are out, and then you got 4 quarterbacks, you're left with 4 teams essentially. Would the Eagles draft him? You think?
Whoever's the first team to not want to draft a quarterback.
You think so?
Probably.
Because isn't that kid from Clemson? And the linebacker from Georgia's fucking great. He'll probably go top 10 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you got there?
Will
Who's
Anderson
left?
from Alabama will probably be
Yes,
the first
Will
defensive
Anderson.
guy.
I would take Will Anderson.
But to his point, I do believe that Carter will be the second defensive guy taken.
Okay, so where does that leave you, Bob?
The upside is just so high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On that guy, is as long as you can get him to actually fucking work out and not do dumb shit. But that's a big if these days.
Or maybe a team that doesn't care about you trying or not can draft him, like the Cardinals at 3.
Yeah, because they definitely.
Yeah, they don't care.
I mean,
Oh,
they cared
boy.
enough to try to put it in Homeboy's contract.
They hired a
Yeah.
coach. Who the fuck's the Cardinals coach?
I think it's you.
Yeah, it might be you.
Just show
It
up.
might be you.
Just show up with a clipboard and say, "Hey guys, let's get started."
I'm looking at this list of top 10 here. What would actually make sense is the Lions at 6,
They
simply
need
because,
defense, yeah.
but their coach is a fucking hard ass, and you can't go out and party in Detroit.
I don't think that guy's going to respond well to Dan Campbell.
You don't think so?
I don't
Kirby's
know.
a hard ass.
Kinda.
Kirby's a fucking. I don't know if he's like a dick, but he's a hothead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a shouter. He's a.
But he also kind
Yeah.
of seems like a guy that makes exceptions, right? Like,
I mean, Urban Meyer's a hard ass, and he let people get murdered.
Yeah, sure
So-
did.
That's a good point.
Well,
Ty-
you could murder as long as you were
Yeah.
great on the field.
Tyree Wilson from Texas Tech might go up.
That's what I'm saying.
Above him as well.
Yeah,
But
dude.
Honestly, I think Carter's better, but
Look, you would have said that. So I don't know, man. Interesting move, though, because if he slips past that, bombs away at that point.
I also
there.
don't think the Bears are going to take a defensive player at 9. Do
no,
you?
they're taking receivers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they need a
You fucking
receiver.
better take a
Yeah.
receiver.
Right. He didn't take anything. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I think they're probably going receiver there, but we'll see. We'll move on over to the WWE. They have finally sold, and I was correct on this. I said that fucking thing with Saudi Arabia was a ruse to get somebody else to
Endeavor.
bid for them. Yes, WME Endeavor has purchased them, combining the UFC with the WWE to create a $21.4 billion organization. Giorgio, are you amped about that or not amped about that? At least they can bring some of that element of personalities over into the UFC.
I really do think they should hire Triple H as the fucking brand manager.
So do
'cause
I.
He fucking did a great job at
Sure did.
WWE.
Yeah.
That was his main job after he stopped wrestling.
Thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm really happy what's going on right now in the world of combat sports. I feel like combat sports is in the best place it's ever been in a long time. Flow is constantly poking the bear as it comes to UFC, especially when it comes to grappling. They just signed Gordon to like a 10-fight deal. ONE FC is
Pardon me,
still
what's Flow?
Flow Sports. It's an alternative sports broadcasting network that you can sign up to, and they cover almost all the Olympic sports. So if you want to watch track and field, gymnastics, grappling, wrestling, amateur mixed martial arts,
A lot of college.
yeah, a lot of college stuff, amateur promotions. Flow's covering that. They're also doing professional sports with wrestling and grappling in combinations with UFC Fight Pass. So there's
Based out of Austin, actually.
Yes. Yeah. So they just signed Gordon to a 10-fight deal, which is really big there. ONE FC, what's going on out of Singapore, is doing these mixed fights cards where they'll do kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA, and grappling all in the same card. So like you'll mix it up a little bit, which I find to be pretty interesting. It's like, honestly, I don't really care. I don't
Giorgio,
really care
how
what
are you
Endeavor's
forgetting
doing.
Fight Circus?
I don't know, Dan.
What's Fight Circus?
So Fight Circus for us, you would love Fight
What is
Circus.
it?
Oh my
What do we
god.
got?
You need to look up the card that just happened this past weekend.
Okay.
They do crazy shit.
Really?
So they did like musical chairs where the two guys that won musical chairs, they got 6 people that won musical chairs. The 2 guys that won musical chairs fought one person. So it was 2-on-1.
Oh, I'm all in. Where's this at?
Not in America.
Are they the ones that have that
Clearly.
dude dressed like the older guy that was bigger fighting the 2 smaller dudes? That was really fun.
So they also have a thing called Siamese boxing.
Yeah, wait, Bob Sapp just did it. So this is if you've
Yeah,
seen this,
with Rampage Jackson.
Rampage
and,
Jackson and Bob Sapp are both in a giant American flag T-shirt, basically like all Apollo.
They
from
each
Rocky.
get one arm, and it's just 2 guys in one shirt boxing another guy, or 2 other guys with one shirt on.
Shut the
That's
fuck
okay.
up.
I would
And-
watch
And
that.
people are paying for this.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'd watch it.
I would. You don't even need to go beyond Fight Circus.
They just had blindfolded Muay Thai.
Like, wouldn't you? I mean,
No way.
that seems like the spiritual successor to bum fights. And let's be honest, anyone in Fight Circus is unofficially a bum.
We were
unofficially a
We were
hobo.
just talking about bum fights too when I was in Colorado because they are amazing. Bum fights is now street beefs, and literally Demetrius Johnson is sitting in a gaming chair, and every week he does commentary on street beefs. So we have one of the best fighters, like probably known as one of the most technical fighters of all time, sitting acting like a YouTuber, talking about people fight in poo noodles.
I'm pretty sure they do like midget fights and stuff too. So like Fight Circus has it all.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't think it's very expensive.
I'm in. Vince McMahon, by the way, will stay on as head of this. So is Dana White.
Not just the head of whatever. They're making him the chairman of the board of the new organization that owns both UFC and WWE.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I think that's a good idea.
It's not. It's pretty terrible. It's what leads to more power slap is what this leads to. And if you slowly creep down that while you have talent go other places and like people who care about the sport and are really into the sport start watching other places. If the UFC loses its cachet as having the best fighters in the world, things could go downhill. I don't think that'll happen. Like, don't get me wrong. I think they're miles ahead right now. Can't lose that cachet.
Right. I mean, the second best organization is what, Bellator, and you see the card they just put out.
I'd say one's better than Bellator.
Yeah, but like nobody watches or knows much about one in America. That
yeah,
aren't like
America.
hardcore fight fans, right?
Well, let me ask you about this. They just had the first PFL over the weekend, and ESPN also owns the rights to that, which I thought was bizarre.
Yeah, they do some weird crow distribution rights with the PFL, and the PFL's ran as a tournament as well.
Yeah.
So like it's basically all about getting that $1 million check at the end.
They also had Game Bred boxing this weekend, so
They
Masvidal
did.
signed.
Yep.
So it was just a bunch of like you had I think Aldo fought Jeremy Stevens in boxing.
Pettis fought too, right?
Pettis beat.
Yeah, he fought in the bare knuckle MMA fight, right?
No, he was in Game Bred.
Oh,
He
he's in the
fought
Game Bred?
what's his name? Old ass boxer that he
I don't
beat.
remember.
Roy Jones
No.
Jr.
Yeah, Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, did he beat him?
Yeah, Pettis won.
Really?
Yeah,
Anthony Pettis. Good
well,
job.
Roy Jones Jr.'s got to be what, 55 now?
yeah. He
he's-
beat up an old man.
Yeah, he's up there. He's up there for sure.
which I would watch in Fight Circus.
Yeah, I'd watch that in Fight Circus for sure.
One 30-year-old fighter against like 3 70-year-old fighters.
But like 70-year-olds that were professionals
Right.
Yeah.
versus like a guy who's 25 who just started taking a few boxing classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The local skate punks hanging outside the 7-Eleven versus 3 angry dads.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. I'm down for that.
You would get that in Fight Circus. I'm just pimping it out.
Think about it,
But
too.
right now, because I watched a little bit of that PFL, and it wasn't bad. It kind of looks the same, obviously, as MMA.
You don't like the analytics?
So as me, I don't expect you, Ross, to like PFL at all. I expect you to be bored out of your mind by that. Yeah, I expect you to equate that to watching bowling.
Well, yeah. So
Yeah,
when
it's not good fighting.
it's not good fighting. When I watched it, the one thing that kept coming to mind was, all right, you got Bellator, you got PFL, you got UFC, you got all this shit. I would rather just see all the talent in one place, and
That's hard. Oh, it's hard to do. It's hard to do.
it's going to water down all of these things now.
Bringing back to what I said
including
before,
UFC.
the UFC has to keep its cachet of being the best, and it's where the best fighters in the world are.
There is one way to do it, and I think it is exactly what happened to the PGA this last year. With all the competition from LIV, they were forced to jack up the pay. Therefore, you're seeing the best people in the PGA. I think UFC has finally got to start paying their
shouts to
fucking
Brooks
fighters.
Koepka with
Maybe.
that giant win in Live Orlando.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
did he win?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you
His
didn't even
wife
fucking
is
hear
happy.
about that shit.
His crazy wife
And he
is
made
happy.
$0 extra from it. You just fucking make the money you already signed up for.
No, he made $4 million.
Yeah, no,
$4 million?
Yes, you make that purse on top of
God
it.
damn,
But
dude.
again, nobody watched it. So
No.
Brooks's wife
Live
watched it.
Live is not going to be around long.
Either way, it jacked up the prices for PGA, and I think this is going to force the UFC to finally pay their fucking fighters, which they should.
Maybe, or they could leverage the marketability or the marketing expertise of WWE to get these guys more outside money, which would be a smart move.
I mean, did
right?
Vince McMahon really ever pay his guys? Not
Only the
not
top
really.
people.
Oh yeah, but the top people, they got paid.
Yeah, but
Hulk Hogan
Dana
got paid.
Dana kind of already does that with like Connor and like the actual superstars, but like he doesn't really pay anyone else.
Here, I'll say this.
Because there is no other actual superstars who will bring asses to the seats.
But also, this is just like a conglomerate conglomerate just taking another thing under their wing. It's not really going to add much to the UFC.
Well, it should. Otherwise,
should.
what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Like when you do
Because it's in Denver.
when you
It's
do
in Denver
logistics.
as a company.
Yeah,
it's
I know, I
not. It's
got
not the
it.
UFC that's like, oh, we acquired
Right.
wrestling.
One hand washes
you,
the other.
You
there.
acquire something
No.
for a reason. It's not just to make your company more valuable.
No, you're just like a Johnson & Johnson thing.
Yeah.
No, I think the success of like a Logan Paul over the weekend, WrestleMania. Holy shit, man! I mean, that was trending number
Yeah,
one.
but it's
Everybody
not-
came out to.
He doesn't go then into an UFC card. Like it's not like you're pulling guys from there and bringing them over. Like they did that with CM Punk once, and that was like a very terrible.
No, that's not
terrible
the point.
ordeal.
The point is that the WWE is the best marketing device for sports that has ever existed.
And then
ever.
scripting these heels versus
in the 90s.
No, their ratings
Still
are
to this
still
day.
high as shit, and they suck. The
They're on
product
Fox.
sucks now compared to what it used to be, and they still fucking dominate
Yes.
everybody
I
else.
can't
It's made
keep
for kids
hyping it up
now.
as a product.
Yeah, Friday Night
But it's always
SmackDown is
made
still
for kids.
huge. Pat McAfee hosted. They backed up the truck and wrote him a huge check for that.
They're still making gajillions
Oh, a
of
fuck
dollars.
ton of
over
money
there.
off
I don't
it.
think
WrestleMania
it helps
just happened?
Combat
Yes.
sports in any way, and I don't think the merger of these two companies helps combat sports in any way. The
Why?
only thing that the
Why
only
would
thing,
you not think that?
The
It's
only thing I
marketing.
think it really helps in any aspect is I think the UFC, or I think the UFC or Endeavor could have bought ADCC recently. I don't know if they're in like some sort of like
Bought what?
ADCC, Abu Dhabi Combat Championships. They're also putting on 50 events under the ADCC rule set.
We're starting
this
to get
year.
into underground
We're getting
cockfighting
too
now.
into the weeds.
It's
Yeah,
like-
dude,
Let's
nobody
get back to
watches
fight
that shit.
circus.
Let's
Tell me
talk-
about the
let's
clown
talk-
that
Nobody
tells
watches
people
that.
they're
Let's
gonna
talk about
die.
the
Yeah.
most effective marketing company for sports in the history of marketing or sports.
Why is it
Yeah.
so boring? Why is it so bad?
Right now,
I don't know.
Same thing with the
Why
UFC.
is
They
it
do not
so
have the
bad?
personalities.
UFC is great
do,
right now.
but
They're
again-
at the highest they've ever been.
Wrestling is not
Wrestling's
wrestling's not for
in
us.
the toilet.
What?
Wrestling is for kids, man. Wrestling is for
Yeah,
children.
I agree with that.
It
And
is
it's something for dads to take their kids to and have a good
Yeah,
time at.
Yeah.
and
That's
they
true.
like it. It's better than it has been in a long time, like since like the '90s, the Attitude Era, allegedly. I don't really watch it anymore, but yeah, it's not made for us. It's not for us.
I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
What's
But
worse, a
then why do-
wrestling
then why do we
adult or
talk
a
about it?
Disney
Because
adult?
the ratings are huge on it.
But it's not. If it's not made for us, why do we care?
Wait, let's get
do-
back to
do we
Rob's
care?
question.
Kids are watching WWE.
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
fix
because
that fucking cord. $50, dude. Just fix the
It's a-
goddamn
it's a
cord.
brand-
because kids, believe it or not, turn into adults who spend money.
Yeah.
And that's why everything is geared towards getting children into your fucking marketing funnel.
Yep.
Every business
Groomers.
is like that. Yeah, it's really what it is. Joe Camel to fucking it's been going on since marketing has existed, and WWE and sports is the best
Yep.
ever at it, and
UFC,
it's not even close.
UFC sold for $5 billion. WWE sold for 10. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, but that was like 10 years apart too.
Inflation, dog.
yeah,
It's not, well, we don't have a 500%
Thanks, Biden.
inflation, but
Yeah, thanks, Biden.
And again, the UFC is still not by capita or view the biggest MMA organization one is. So like again, like
In the
you
world?
yes,
Yeah.
when you want to throw numbers at me like, oh, professional wrestling is so much bigger. It's like, okay, it's bigger than the second MMA organization in the world. Many years later, sold for. Like these are just really
which
not-
one?
but
I'm sorry, let me stop you right
Americans
there.
don't watch
Which one's more profitable, one or UFC?
Probably one. I
Nah,
mean, they're doing a
fucking
lot of
no
crazy.
way.
Dude, Singapore, man, they print money there. Like
Singapore,
whatever.
Singapore's
whatever they're
got like
doing-
7 million people in their entire country.
Yeah, but you have the entire Southeast Asian market. Like fighting there has
Japan's
been
got 300.
They're all
traditional.
fucking poor, dude. Southeast Asia is India and China.
Japan watches it.
Japan.
Hey man, don't count out
I mean,
the
there's
Jakarta
just-
TV market.
It's like they're trading in fucking. They're breaking
it
fucking
has-
leaves in half to
it
pay each
has
other.
higher view numbers. Like that's all I'm saying is it has higher view numbers. So
Well, so does soccer, but nobody gives a fuck about that here
Yes,
either.
That's
So,
not
like,
true.
No.
Soccer
Some
players,
people do.
soccer and F1 have the highest salaries by far.
No, not America. Americans.
Again, but I
like,
love this. We'll use one statistic to prove a point, and then we'll use that same statistic to prove the opposite point right after. I'm like, oh,
What's-
well, they make more
No,
money.
no,
No
no,
one
no.
cares here.
Nobody cares in America, right? So what do they care about more? And that's the whole thing.
People love F1 here.
God, fix the fucking mic, dude.
People do love
F1.
F1. F1 is exploded.
Ever
here.
since that Netflix thing.
Netflix
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Although it was on the rise
And
before that.
we're gonna
as well.
lose the goddamn race here.
I know.
yeah, it's gone.
What do you mean? Why is it gone?
I don't know. They're
Coda's
just-
a dope ass track.
They're like
Austin
just moving to
sucks.
Miami, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
Austin, yeah.
we've talked about this before.
moving
Miami
the golf tournament, too. It's gone.
Cultural a better fit for the F1 then.
Well,
Yeah.
probably true, but there's also nothing over there. at Coda.
Yeah,
it's just the
Coda's
track.
in a field.
Yeah, like they need to build an entire city just around that to attract something as big as that.
And they might just knock it down and make a city on top.
They
of
should.
It. They're close.
be honest.
They're close.
They really do need like a sort of battery type of
you
situation.
got to build. I mean, why not, dude?
Yeah, like around Atlanta State, like they do with a lot of stadiums. Now.
If I was an F1 investor, if I owned a car or something like that, or if I was deep into that world, I would fucking buy that whole area.
And that's why, by the way, genius of Austin FC to put that stadium up at fucking the domain,
yeah,
and
big
not
time.
out by fucking Coda, which they were thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I agree. NCAA tournament is on tonight. Looking forward to that. I'm taking UConn -7 on mybookie.com. Bet with us or against us.
Wait,
so.
Delco, didn't you take San Diego State months ago or weeks ago or something?
No.
Somebody.
It was the big guy who took UConn.
No,
and,
somebody in the group, maybe, or somebody. One of the fans, or somebody took him at like.
So let me get. Actually, that's a great point. We'll get to that. So obviously, from the show, and everybody listens to the show. More than a few people picked UConn after I picked UConn during the prediction show. One person, one drinking bro in the whole fucking brackets picked San Diego State to win it all. And it's going to come down to the 8 people who picked UConn and then the one guy who picked San Diego State. And I'm imagining it's just somebody who either alumni or a fan.
I wonder what the fucking odds were on that.
I don't know.
60-1, maybe
A
something.
Kawhi
like that?
Leonard fan, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, it could be a Spurs fan.
Does Kawhi? Does he have any fans? That is oh god, it's horrifying. He's not a human being.
No, he's not a human being. But there was one guy who will win the signed Magic Johnson jersey tonight, pre-HIV, obviously, and you will get that if San Diego State wins. The rest of you who went with UConn like I did are going to have to duke it out here, and then it'll be sorted out 2 minutes after the game ends tonight. So, yeah.
There should be a tiebreaker, right, for score or something?
There is, yes.
Yeah.
There's always a tiebreaker for score, but because of the disparity of nobody getting more than one Final Four team picked correctly, I only had one team correctly in the Final
Now,
Four.
if you are tied and you pick the same score, we will rip the jersey in half.
Correct.
Yeah.
And we'll actually put our own blood on it and then try to give you AIDS on the Magic Johnson jersey. So you have that to look forward to, and maybe you can root for that tonight. We'll see. Thanks for joining us, kids. For D'Anthony Holloway, Delco Dan, Hot Bob, Papa G, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Monday Morning Recap. Good morning, everyone.